Live from MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland, this is the Boxing Along the Beltway Post-Fight Wrap-Up Show. Boxing Along the Beltway Post-Fight Wrap-Up Show is brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers, ballerinas, to shoulder pain, muscle strain, everything in between, Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief, you get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com, where she has great weight loss tips and great jewelry on her site. So go to Deborah, D-E-B-R-A Spears.com. Hi again, everyone. I'm Gary Digital Williams alongside Juan Marshall. We are wrapping up this card here from the MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. The Devin Haney Promotions and Matchroom Boxing promotion card here tonight, where we saw a card that had four things going up against it even before the card got going. Number one, the lack of Beltway boxes. We only had two Beltway boxes on this card, both from Baltimore. So we had that situation. Number two is Memorial Day weekend, first weekend prior to the start of the unofficial start of summer. Number three, the promotion on this card, quite frankly, wasn't all that good, in all honesty. It was kind of late in coming along. And really the fourth situation was that because they didn't have a lot of Beltway boxers on this card, a lot of the boxers on this card who performed, a lot of the fans here tonight didn't really know who they were. However, in that regard, the fans got a good show because a lot of the boxers came to perform tonight and they fought extremely well overall tonight.
Oh, excellent card put together, you know. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, the key is, if it would have been promoted early enough, and the thing is, the key thing what you were saying earlier, only two Beltway boxes because everybody else has fought already, or they got up and coming dates within weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So we give them a pass on that. Yeah, no question about that.
But the bouts themselves were excellent bouts.
Yeah,
I mean, the women's bout. Oh my goodness, from the 10 rounds. I mean, they from start to finish, every single round.
We're gonna go everything here, of course. But I think one thing was, of course, Alexander Usyk, who is a former WBO cruiserweight champion who went up to the heavyweight division. He was scheduled to fight on this card, be the headliner against Carlos Takam, but he hurt his bicep. So the headliner ended up being Devin the Dream Haney. We're going to talk about his bout in a few minutes, but he ended up being the headliner on the card, and there was talk about they possibly moving this card to Las Vegas, but I think it was a little bit too late to do that. So the card was held here. And again, a great card, no question about that. Before we get to the main event and some of the bigger bouts on the card, talk about the two Beltway boxers on this card. First of all, Lorenzo Truck Simpson, I thought put on his best performance as a pro with a crushing first-round knockout, 119 the first round over Rafael Garcia of Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, on paper, the bout looked like it was going to be a testy bout for Simpson. But Simpson, to me, looked better this bout than I ever seen him perform since he turned pro. And his boxing skills were there, his range was there, his use of his jab, and he wasn't excited. He wasn't too over anxious to get in there to try to beat down the opponent. So this opponent, I think, was chosen perfectly for him, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, he landed some brutal uppercuts in the bout that ended up pushing Garcia back and ended up having referee Harvey Dock stop the bout at 119 in the first round. Lorenzo Simpson was outstanding tonight. Now his record is 4-0, 3 KOs. Rafael Garcia, El Loco, out of Tucson, Arizona, he falls down to 9-3 with 6 KOs on the card. Now the other Beltway box on the card, the guy by the name of Mac Allison IV, known as Poppy, out of Baltimore, Maryland. He took on Luis Palamito Gerardo Perez of Puebla, Mexico. And on that bout, just a tough loss for Mac Allison in what was really a great bout. It really set the tone for the entire evening tonight. But Allison and Perez, they battled back and forth, and mainly in the center of the ring, and Perez ended up winning the bout by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I was pretty much impressed with Allison's performance in the ring. You know, he stood in tough, and he put out some good body work. He was using his good movement and everything. But the thing is, Garcia was a game opponent.
Yes.
And since they both were game opponent, those guys were going at it for all 6 rounds. And I thought it was going to come out to be a draw. But even that, I thought Allison landed the more significant punches, because a lot of those shots Garcia was throwing, Allison was able to block. And I think the thing is, like, we saw Allison's mouthpiece come out twice, and I'm thinking maybe the referee would have swayed because it could have been some shots landed to make it look more dramatic than it was. Right. And I think that's probably what the total tale of the fight.
Yeah, referee Victor Wysocki did a good job. He did miss, I think. Well, actually, Perez seemed to be hitting Allison after the bell a few times in the bout, and he never was warned by referee Victor Wysocki, and I guess he got away with it, and he ended up winning bout. All three judges on the card on the bout scored about 59-55. Mac Allison III still looking for his first win against an over 500 opponent. He's now 9-3-1, 7 KOs. Luis Perez now 6-2 with 1 KO. Now let's go over to the rest of the card, starting with the main event, which I think we may have a candidate for not Beltway knockout of the year, because it doesn't count because of Devin Haney not being from the Beltway. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. But I think among the boxing world overall,
even card.
It may end up being one of the best knockouts of 2019, as Devin Haney scored a 7th-round crushing knockout over Antonio Tony Moran to regain the WBC International and WBO Intercontinental Lightweight Championships and gain the WBA international version of the title. And a great win for Devin Haney, only 20 years old, and a lot of future going after him, no question about that.
Yeah, Haney is just a gifted young fighter. Some fighters just have it, just like athletes. Some athletes just have it in basketball, football. Haney is the one who has it in boxing. And to be so young and be so business-minded and also going into the sport, he has a bright future. And what he did last night was total domination, using the jab to open up things on Moran, and when he set up the jab, he was able to get inside and do some of the crushing left hands, and then that tremendous overhand right that sealed the deal for him.
Yeah, in the 5th round, there was a knockdown situation where Haney knocked down Moran with a body shot, but it looked like that the feet tangled, and Haney actually stepped on Moran's foot, and Moran went down. So he didn't seem hurt by that knockout. But again, the body shots in the 7th round was able to knock down, I should say. The body shots in the 7th round able to guide Haney through, and leading to that beautiful crushing overhand right.
Yeah, that's what he set it up. He set everything up from the opening round. Everything was set up, landing the body shots early. Sticking the jab to the body and then working it upstairs. So Moran, whatever game plan Moran had coming in, it was offset because the offense that he tried to put together, the footwork of Haney, the footwork and the hand speed of him just eliminated anything that Moran tried to throw, and then he set his combinations up. And like I said, when he went to the body and everything, he came over top with that right hand. I mean, he was out on his feet before he hit the canvas.
No question about it. So Devin the Dream Haney, he was a co-promoter on this card tonight. He raised his record now to 22-0 with 14 knockouts. Antonio Tono Moran out of Mexico City, Mexico, 24-4 now with 17 KOs. Co-feature was a short one, as Filip Animal Rogovic of Zagreb, Croatia, made short work of Gregory Bad News Corbin out of Dallas, Texas. Two tall heavyweights. Rogovic came in at 6'6", Corbin came in at 6'4", but Rogovic, he put on a great show. 1 minute of the first round, beautiful short right hand to knock out Gregory Corbin.
Yeah, Hrgovic, that perfectly timed overhand right. He caught Corbin coming in. It was
kind of a short right.
There was an overhand right. He came over because Corbin kind of come in. And it was kind of awkward way. He had his head down and he had a lunging approach.
Yeah.
And Horvick, all he did was step to the side and came over with the overhand right and then sent Corbin down, and that was it. And then when Corbin got up, he was still equilibrium was off.
Yeah.
And then when equilibrium was off, that's when Brent Bovell was able to stop the fight because he couldn't continue being wobbly on his feet. Even after the 8 count.
Right. Yeah. So Filip Hrgovic out of Zagreb, Croatia, beautiful when he he regains his WBC International Heavyweight Championship, just 8-0, 6 KOs. Gregory Corbin now 15-2 with 9 KOs to his credit. In the WBA International Heavyweight Championship, Michael the Bounty Hunter out of Las Vegas, Nevada, trained by our very own former undisputed heavyweight champion Hasim the Rock Rockman. He scored a second-round knockout over Fabio Maldonado of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I think during that bout, especially in the second round, Maldonado was actually looking for places to fall.
Yeah, Michael Hunter, he executed a great early game plan, or he put his game plan together early. You know, using as a tall fighter, you normally don't see a fighter going downstairs too much, coming off. You normally stick to the jab up top all the time, but he used his jab, go downstairs, and when he got Maldonado to drop his hands, he came right up top and landed that shot and crushed him and knocked him down a few times in the second round.
Yeah, he was hanging on to the referee. He was doing all over the place, going all over the place, trying to get away from Michael Hunter, who showed no mercy, and he won the bout. The time of the knockout was 1:45 of the second round. Michael Hunter now 17-1, 12 knockouts. Fabio Maldonado falls to 26-3, 25 KOs. And this is the first time, Juan, that Maldonado has been knocked out in his career. Oh, wow. So big win for Michael Hunter. The bout that kind of stole the show, along with the first bout of the night, which I think may be, even though Mac Allison lost about, maybe a good candidate for Beltway boxing bout of the year. But the bout that stole the show tonight was the unification bout for the WBC and WBA female super lightweight title between WBC champion going in Jessica McCaskill of Chicago, Illinois, and Anahi La Indecida Sanchez of Buenos Aires, Argentina. These two ladies went to absolute conflict. They locked horns, and for 10 two-minute rounds, they went at it. And when it was Jessica McCaskill ended up winning unanimous decision. Yeah,
McCaskill and Sanchez blow for blow from the start to finish. And I mean, throughout, I couldn't say from round 1 through 8, I want to say, pretty much it looked even to me. You know, both fighters were landing shots upstairs, downstairs. Both fighters were nice to meet you guys. Pretty much dazing each other, you know, at times in round. But it was round 9 when McCaskill landed some good shots to close out round 9. And she landed some nice overhand right hands, and to send Sanchez back into the ropes a little bit. And luckily the bell rang, because the fight could have been stopped then, I'm thinking. But McCaskill finished out the second round. I mean, the closing round, she opened up round 10. Dominating performance, kept coming forward, and her power looked like it started to get more, because she saw that she had Sanchez hurt to close the 9th, so she did much of the same in the 10th round, and those basically the 2 rounds that stood out to get the bout her way.
Yeah, two of the judges really had some wild scores. One judge scored a 99-91, another one scored a 98-92. I didn't see either one of those. The third judge had it closer, 96-94. And I think based on what Juan, you said, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, the last 2 rounds, McCaskill really picked up the pace and ended up winning the bout. But I really believe that the bout was a lot closer than 2 of the judges gave it credit for. Jessica McCaskill, 7-2 now, 3 KOs. She's won 2 world championships already in just 9 pro bouts. And Nahi Sanchez falls to 19-4, 11 KOs. That's a lot of KOs in that situation, 11 KOs. And another bout on the night, a 6-round junior middleweight bout, Daniel Lusinov out of Kazakhstan, Berezino, Kazakhstan. He won a 6-round unanimous decision over late sub Luis Norma Buena of San Jose, California. Good win for Lusinov. Just some really good controlled action there.
Yeah, Lusinov, it started off pretty even, you know, but he started to take his toll on, or have his way, I guess, you know, as the bout went on. And I think it was the second round. I think he caught him with the 4th round. It's the 4th round that had his opponent hurt, and it was a good shot. You know, we were expecting a lot from him anyway, being a 2-time Olympian and a gold medalist, I think, in 16. I think. I believe he won. Yeah, and so we were expecting a lot from him, and he was in a tough fight today.
Yeah, no question about it. It was good win. 2 judges had a shutout, 60-54. Another one had a 59-55. Daniel Lusinov remains undefeated, 7-0, 3 KOs, and Luis Norma Buena falls to 3-2-1. He's from San Jose, California, by way of Chile. And that is the card, and that completes the magnificent May along the Beltway. And boy, it has been an outstanding month of boxing. 3 straight cards in 3 weeks, and 1 in Virginia, 1 in D.C., 1 in Maryland. Just assess the lad this month, Juan.
Oh, absolutely a wonderful month of boxing in May. You know, from small shows to huge shows. You know, and that's the way it's been basically since 2012.
Yeah.
You know, Washington D.C. has become a hotbed for boxing, and I mean all the way around the board. You know, from the smaller promoters up to the larger promoters. Promoters coming from out of town to throw fights here in this area. So I'm pretty satisfied with it. And I think it's still going to continue.
Yeah. It was great because each part of the Beltway had something going on with the show in Virginia, the big show with Jared Hurd and Julian J. Rock Williams. Then, of course, the show in D.C. at the Entertainment Sports Arena. Now tonight here at the MGM National Harbor Casino. But we're still going because we do have a card on Saturday, June 1st at the Waldorf Cultural Center in Waldorf, Maryland. Scheduled to be on that card, we've got Filip Stankovic. He's taking on Patrick Pierre. Gregory Clark against Aaron Casper. Nigel Fennell on the card against Jamoni Jones. Nathaniel Lee Davis makes his pro debut against Alex Rivera. Also looking for Nathaniel the Juggernaut Copeland in a heavyweight bout. So we'll see what happens there. But that's going to be a big card there, Saturday, June 1st at the Waldorf Cultural Center. Yours truly will be the ring announcer for that card. And we're looking for a great time there. We also continue in June on June 22nd at Rosecroft Raceway in Fort Washington, Maryland. And we are hearing that on June 29th, there'll be a card at the Laurel Gardens Ice House in Laurel, Maryland. Coming up also on June 20th in the Ocean Casino Resort in Lansing, New Jersey, Demetrius Ballard takes on Elias Espadas. Also on the card, on that same card in New Jersey, will be Mike Yesson-D. Reed. So that'll be Thursday night, June 20th. So that's coming up. We're going to give you a full June schedule on our next News and Notes podcast here on the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. So that's going to be great as well. Also, some big things coming up in July. Also, June 22nd that's a Saturday, June 22nd at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Colby Mad Dog Madison out of Owensville, Maryland, the heavyweight. He'll take on Robert Sims of Saginaw, Michigan. That bout scheduled for 8 rounds. I believe that's Madison's first 8-rounder. Madison's 8-0-2, 5 KOs. Robert Sims 8-3 with 3 KOs. So that should be an interesting bout there on Saturday, June 22nd. We'll be at Rosecroft Raceway. We look to have live coverage of that Shabazz Brothers card on Saturday, June 22nd, and also maybe Saturday, June 29th at the Gardens Ice House for the GQ Promotions card there on Saturday, June 29th. So a lot still to come here in the Beltway. Make sure you stay with us. We've had a lot of fun going into the summer months. It's going to be an outstanding summer season for the Beltway. And that'll do it here from the MGM National Harbor Casino, Oxon Hill, Maryland. Oxon Hill, Maryland. Remember the Boxing on the Beltway post-fight wrap-up show brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. Go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And brought to you by DeborahSpears.com. Great weight loss tips and great jewelry at Deborah, D-E-B-R-A Spears.com. For Juan Marshall, I'm Gary Digital Williams saying so long from the MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. We thank the folks at Matchroom Boxing and Devin Haney Promotions for their support. And we look forward to seeing you next Saturday from the Waldorf Cultural Center in Waldorf, Maryland. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. And always remember, keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.